Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV Preview Show. We are previewing Wednesday, the 20th of November. We race at Hollywoodbets Greyville. We on the poly track. I trusted you, the valued racing fan, as well, and looking forward to this race meeting on Wednesday. Let's see what's on offer. Well, there's 8 races carded. Race number 1 begins at 12:30, and the big one, the pick 6, with the smallish fields throughout the day. Begins in race number 3 at 13:35. I suspect that bet will be popular amongst most racing fans. Let's get straight into it. Race number 1 will kick off the exotics. It will be the start of the bipod, and you need to get on by 12:30. As we bring up the field, you will see that 7 runners are carded at the time of recording. Just keep an eye on scratchings, declarations closer to race time. And this is how the betting is looking. So horses in single figures. Number 2 is at 8-1. Number 4, McDazzler at 22-10. Horse number 5, Future Flow at 28-10. Number 6, Warrior of Royalty, is a 2-1 shot. And then it's double figures, the balance. Well, there's a lot of speed in the race, and as we've come to know at recent meetings at Hollywoodbets Greyville, the poly track is running quick, so I suspect that most of these horses will be vying for an early position to try and get to the front or in the first half of the field. Looking at the race, number 4, McDazzler from the Dean Cannemeyer stable, he took his time to be rewarded with that maiden win, which did come last time out. Prior to that, he's been a costly horse to follow, but the way he was ridden by Craig Zaki last time out, a similar type of ride by Brevin Pikes, who claims 2.5 kgs, and the horse comes in with a very low weight of 50 on his back. He could run all the way to the line. His confidence could be up, number 4, McDazzler, now that he's got that win. Number 5, Future Flow from the stable of Michael Roberts. Yeah, a horse that took 17 runs to crack the maiden, but followed up very quickly to win again, beating Night Warrior. And that form line has held up very well, with a Night Warrior coming out to win an excellent race the other day at Hollywoodbets Greyville. So Rachel will claim the 1.5, which is a plus. It is quite tight in the best weighted column between a few of these runners in this conditional graduation. And number 5, Future Flow, it wouldn't surprise me to see him go 3 on the bounce. And then number 6, Warrior of Royalty from the Nathan Kotson stable. Ability-wise, compared to this type of field and what he's been racing against, you just have a look at some of his recent runs. He's been racing in horses against 91 average rating at his penultimate start. So he's a horse that's got the ability, and I fancy that he's possibly the right horse in the race if things go his way. I say that because last time out at Hollywoodbets Greyville, he did miss the jump and he had to come from the back of the field. But on his day, he does show some pace and speed, number 6, Warrior of Royalty. So if he uses that gate speed early, I think he's one of the leading contenders in the race. And then I may have saved the best for last, because the biggest outsider in the field is a horse called Andy Kugel from the Kumara Naidu stable. Now, don't discard this horse's chances. He's dropped right down in the ratings, and I know it's a conditional graduation, but the fact is the horse is carrying 52.5 kgs here. And if he can repeat his run 3 starts back, where he showed a lot of pace and speed in a race that is far stronger than this. Look at that. The average rating that day in that B division class was a 93. He was beaten 2.5 lengths by Proud Master. If he repeats that run with this very low weight of 52 kgs, I think number 1, Andy Kugel, represents all the value in the race. He's got gate speed. He's drawn 1. He could be in the front, and he could run all the way to the line. So in a very small field of 7 runners, I'm going to suggest that number 1, Andy Kugel, at a big price, at around 16-1 at the time of recording, is big value with a low weight, draw 1, and a lot of pace. But the 4 horses in the race are numbers 4, 5, and 6. Well, race number 2 kicks off the place accumulator. You need to get on by 13:05. It's a merit-rated 69 handicap. It's over 2,000 meters. And a very small field will go to post in race number 2 to kick off the place accumulator, where number 5 is a scratching at the time of recording. So we just got 6 runners that will go to post. As a guide with the betting, HollywooodBets, single figures, number 1, 7-1. Horse number 2 at 3-1. Number 3, Duke of Africa at 3-1. Horse number 4, Rainwater, is at 5-1. Number 6 at 6-1. And then horse number 7, King Bavarian, is trading at 18-10. So what are we doing in the place accumulator? Well, I personally think 2 horses are good enough here. In fact, many will be looking towards the top of the boards with number 7 in the place accumulator, and that is King Bavarian. He's possibly the horse that will set the standard in this field, considering the form that he's in. He's run, 4 runs this season for 3 seconds and a third. He's got a very low mass of 53.5 on his back. He's in good form. He's threatening to win. He enjoys the poly track. And whilst he is drawn wide, it's over 2,000 meters and it's a very small field. This looks like the right opportunity for him to win again, and a popular choice for all and an obvious selection in the PA. But Rainwater is a horse that interests me, and I think at around 5-1 in the betting, that looks very generous. I don't think that 5-1 is going to last come race time. Having watched his last start when they stretched him over the distance of 1,900 meters, and it was his best run to date. He found one better, and he set the fractions up front. He tied very late in that race when beaten by Hoodwink. So the fact that he appreciated the extra distance, 2,000 meters, I think will be no issue for him. He must be the immediate danger to number 7. And then I found a horse here, guys, called Double Olympic from the Yogus Governor yard. Now, purely on the fact on the ratings drops, he has come tumbling down in the ratings. You look at his profile, he's had 3 runs now for Yogus Governor after relocating from the Western Cape. And he had a very high rating of a 92 when he was racing down in Cape Town. And that has come tumbling down to a very low 69. And he now goes over a distance that is unknown to him. Well, I personally think if he takes to this extra distance and the fact that he's come right down in the ratings at around 7-1, he could be the joker of the pack here. A massive rating drop for number 1, Double Olympic, and trying the extra distance. So he is the joker of the pack here in race number 2. But I think the winner should come from numbers 4 and 7. If there is going to be, inverted commas, an upset in the race at around 7-1, I fancy it could be number 1, Double Olympic from the stable of Yogus Governor. Of the balance of the runners, well, I don't know if Queen Amina will be taking a place. She did run the other day. She ran a good second behind She's a Bomber. Keep an eye on that. If she does run, I suspect that she may not, but if she does run on that effort, if she's taken a run well, depends on how she's pulled up, etc. It's all up to the stable. Then on that run, where she was second to She's a Bomber, she must be a contender. There'll be followers of Duke of Africa, and of course Blazing Light. Rachel Vinegar's 1.5 is a big plus there, carrying 61.5 kgs, but she'll take that 1.5 off. But I think the winner will come from numbers 4 or 7. And again, the value in the race could be the horse that has plummeted in the ratings. Number 1, Double Olympic. Start of the pick 6, the big one. It's a maiden handicap for fillies and mares over 1,800 meters. Now, this maiden handicap makes for very interesting reading because they're going 1,800 meters. It's a spread of weights. Number 1 at 5-2. Horse number 2 is trading at 6-1. Number 3 at 7-1. Number 4 at 6-1. And number 5 is a 7-1 shot. 7 is a 2-1, and 8 is a 6-1 shot. So this is the way it is. I think number 4 is at 16-1. I'm just going to double check that. I may have written that down and missed out the 1 there because I can't believe that I read out 6-1 there about horse number 4, Arctic Fury. Well, this race, as I mentioned, is a handicap for the maiden. So basically what that means is the weights are being spread out from top to bottom, just like you'll have in a handicap. And as we bring up that race for the fixed odds there in race number 3, I was 100% correct that number 4 is a 16 to 1 shot and not 6 to 1. So apologies for that. So this race in the pick 6, tricky race. I think you'll do well to try and get through with the minimum spend. We'll start from the top and work our way down with regards to numbers. Number 1, Mike Miller's runner, I'm sure will be included for many after a very good last start behind Joan the Word, over 1,800 meters. And a horse that did race on the poly track at that penultimate start wasn't the worst of runs, but I think from draw 1, if jumping on terms, will run well. Now, my top choice in the race is going to be the 6 to 1 shot. Yes, you heard it, 6 to 1 Sunbini for the Gallop Puller stable. Now, she's having a first run on the poly track, which the surface is unknown to her. But look at the way that Gallop Puller has brought her along. First 3 runs, Hollywoodbets Scottsville over the sprint trip. Way too short for her, as her form would suggest. Then she came to Hollywoodbets Greyville. She ran over 1,400 meters. Again, it was no show from her. But at any price last time out, you could get any price. The form guide I'm using says 140 to 1. She ran the most improved race of her career when stepped up to 1,900 meters, finishing 4th, 2 lengths behind Puller Fast One. Now, if she takes to the poly track from a good draw, I think with this type of weight, 54.5 kgs, that could be some serious value for you, the valued racing fan. Number 2, Sunbini. Number 2 is going to be the top choice here for me, ahead of number 1. When I look at the balance of the runners, I have to give a comment to number 5, Yellow Jacket, who enjoys front-running tactics, and 1,700 meters at that penultimate start was no issue, so 1,800 meters should be no problem at all. And then horse number 7, the stable companion to number 1, Twilight Bay, that last start behind Mississippi Spice, well, she was heavily back that day. I remember being on course, and money was pouring on this filly. And she ran a nice race with those blinkers on. She was given a confident ride by Tristan Godden, but she just came up for air in the closing stages of that race. So is the distance going to be a factor for her? 1,800 meters. Well, I personally like the stable companion ahead of her, number 7, Twilight Bay. And then perfectly picked, I will definitely be including in trifectas and quartets. But again, we found some value here in race number 3. Horse number 2, Sunbini, is going to be the top choice ahead of number 1 and 5 and 7. I think those numbers for trifectas and quartets, and maybe good enough for the pick 6 as well. If you're looking to play for the rule, half the field in numerical order, 1, 2, 5 and 7. But I already like the look of number 2 here, 54.5 kgs. And I don't think that 6 to 1 is going to last come race time. Well, we're on to race number 4. It's start of Jackpot 1. It's over 1,600 meters, a merit-rated 66 handicap. And it's the Gallop TV merit-rated 66 handicap. You need to get on bar 1410. Well, I mentioned Gallop TV as we bring up the field of 7 runners. Because this is something that's been going on for some time now. Previews of race meetings throughout the country, lots of other content on Gallop TV. And all we want you, the valued racing fan, to do is, please, if you are watching this, just like and subscribe to our Gallop TV YouTube channel. And if you want to be notified with regards to updates of our content, all you need to do is hit that bell icon. So we urge you just to like and subscribe. And if you want those updates for new content, you need to hit that bell icon. And we thank you, the valued racing fan, for your invaluable support of the channel. And it's over 1,600 meters, race number 4. And this is the way they are betting horses in single figures. Number 1, 33 to 10. Horse number 2, 33 to 10. Number 3 is at 6 to 1. Then we go on to number 6 at 4 to 1. And at Hollywoodbets, number 7, from 22 to 10, has shortened into 16 to 10. Well, I'm going to take a big chance here in race number 4, hoping to survive. It's a small field. I'm just going to go with 2 runners. And it may turn out to be the obvious 2 from what you have seen. Number 6 and 7. 6, Wave Warrior for Alison Wright, versatile individual enjoys the poly track, anything from 1,000 up to 1,900 meters. Course and distance record is clear to see. And a horse that's holding his form. Hasn't won for 224 days, but not short of confidence, just can't put his head in front. And last time out, good run behind the creatures. That day he did grab my attention with Nirvana Steady. And I think against this type of field, we'll have a serious chance of getting that 4th career win. But no doubt the horse to beat from what I saw last time out is number 7, Fair Advantage. 2 runs in the province, a nice warm-up run at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, and then last time out, I'm sure if you watched racing that day, you would have seen they put the money down. They liked the horse, and the horse did not disappoint. Delivered in a big way on the poly track over 1,600 meters, and the way he quickened on that inside running rail, it made it look very easy. I thought that he won easier than the margin suggested. Was pushed up from a 66 to a 70, but we must understand and know that he's achieved much higher than this when he was racing in the Western Cape. So he still could be way under the radar with regards to his rating here in KZN. So the way he won last time out, if you pull out that form line, you're not going to be inspired, you're not going to be encouraged, you may even be put off because there's 8 runners to come from that form line and no winners. So that is a slight concern for me that the form line hasn't held up. But all we're going to do is judge the individual and how he won last time out and how much more to come from him now that he's here in KZN. So I think he's rightfully the right horse at top of betting boards. The early betting support suggests that he's the right horse in the race. So number 7, Fair Advantage, the horse to beat. But I wouldn't be leaving out horse number 6, Wave Warrior, in anything. I think his consistency could be rewarded. Of the balance of the runners, Brave Bomber and Forest Jump are the only other 2 runners to jump off the pace, excuse the pun. But for Jackpot 1, I'm going to suggest 2 runners, 6 and 7, and hopefully that's good enough. We're on to race number 5, which is Jackpot 2, and that basically means trying to work out a perm for the last 4 races on the card. It's over 1,600 meters. It's a fillies and mares 77 handicap. So Jackpot 2 will begin at 14:45. That's a 2:45. As we bring up the field, we'll have a look at betting. Horses in single figures. Number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me, 5-1. Horse number 2 at 5-1. Number 3 at 7-1. 4 is a 6-1 shot. 5 is at 9-2. 6 at 8-1. And we got a 22-10 shot, who is now partnered by Sean Veal. Take note that Craig Zaki is not riding at the meeting. He's got riding replacements throughout the day. In this race, Sean Veal has picked up the ride. I also like to bring your attention to number 5, Regeneration, as I did with Robbie Hill's runner the other race, which was Queen Amina. Just keep an eye if they do race. Number 5, Regeneration, was a winner over the weekend, and what a win it was out the maidens, beating Fort Jador. So personally, I think the horse will be scratched, but not as yet. So this race is a highly competitive C division class where there's a form to work around. But the one horse that did impress me first up in the province was Ginger Delight. Now, I urge you to please go and watch the replay. How do you watch that replay? Well, it's very simple. You go to the Gallop TV YouTube channel. You press on videos. Now all the videos will come up, but you will see that there is that search icon there. And you don't need to scroll all the way down for all the videos. Just in that search icon, press in Ginger Delight, and then you will see the last win of Ginger Delight will come on, and watch it. Just watch it. So it's very easy. Gallop TV YouTube channel, videos, and then all the videos will come up, the recent videos, but there is a search icon there. It's like a magnifying glass. That's how it is, but it's a search icon. So just put in Ginger Delight. The replay will come up, and please go and watch it. Because when you watch it, you'll actually see the truth. I'll try and paint a picture for you. The horses jumped, and everything was going smoothly. And then there was a horse they called Arm Divine, trained by Lola Crawford, that started to stumble in the race and causing interference to a few runners, but the most interference was caused to number 8, Ginger Delight, and eventually the horse broke down I'm Divine, who was partnered by Rachel Vinegar, if I'm not mistaken. So that horse caused a lot of interference to this horse, Ginger Delight, and things could have gone horribly wrong for the horse. But the manner in which she recovered, and when she turned into the straight, and when asked to run by Craig Zaki, after all that interference and issues and everything that was going on in the race, it didn't break her confidence, and that's what I liked about the filly. The way she quickened away, she made it look very, very easy. In fact, she could have won much further than the 3.5 lengths suggest. I think there's lots more to come from her. She looks like an above average talented filly. They have found a nice field for her to possibly go back to back. And I'm going to say that she is the worthy favorite in the race. Sean Veal has picked up a nice ride, and she's the filly to beat. So number 8, Ginger Delight. The balance of the runners, this horse number 4, Ethereal View for Mike Miller. The way she was ridden by Tristan Godden last time out, if she's given a similar type of run, I think she will be a big threat to number 8, Ginger Delight, and possibly the horse that Ginger Delight will have to go and fetch as they turn into the straight. And with Weight to Burn coming through to enhance that form line, they will be followers of number 4, Ethereal View at 6-1. Then a horse that has been a bit frustrating to follow if you've gone for her in the past. I say this because she's not the smartest out the gates, number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me. But the one thing we know is that she can turn on the speed at the business end of the race. Now, she's drawn 1 with Rachel Vinegar up. Rachel's got a wonderful record, and I'll read it out to you if you don't know. 8 rides, 2 wins, 3 seconds, a third, and 2 fourths. So basically, Rachel has only missed it, she hasn't. 8 rides, 2 wins, and 6 places. So Rachel gets a great tune out of number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me. So all that needs to happen from draw 1 is that even if she doesn't jump on terms, maybe she's not at the back of the field, because if the truck's running quick, then she's going to have an uphill going into the final 400 meters, lots of ground to make up. But if she somehow finds herself in a mid-pack or in the first half of the field, I promise you, she's got a good turn of foot against this type of field. So I'm not leaving her out of anything, number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me, although it's 50-50 on how things are going to work out from that draw, considering that, she may be slow away, she may be pushed on that inside running rail to, the second half of the field. But for some reason or the other, she just keeps grabbing my attention here in race number 5 from that barrier position, draw 1. And Rachel, who knows her, who hasn't missed the top 4 in her, she'll have a plan of possibly trying to get out on terms with number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me. She knows the mare best. So that could be the value in the race at around, 5-1 or so, number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me. But I think those 3 runners should be good enough. The one other runner that I think could be nicely placed is the visitor from Robin Klaassen, Alpha Betty. Because at her best, she was a 90, and she's come down to a 74. And she hasn't done too badly on the surface, 2 runs for a place. So maybe she could be cleverly placed here by the stable now that she's racing off a very low 74, number 6, Alpha Betty. But it all depends on how much more to come from Ginger Delight, number 8, because the way she won last time out, you had to sit up and take notice. But the dangers, number 4, Ethereal View, and number 1, Pour Some Sugar on Me. And if you're looking for one more to include in Jackpot 2, it could be number 8, Alpha Betty. But Ginger Delight is going to be my top choice. The last pick 3 on the card is race number 6. It generally gets to a sizable pool, races 6, 7, and 8 to close off the meeting. 1,600 meters, merit weighted 82 handicap. Now you need to get on by 15:20. As we bring up the field, we will have a look at some betting horses in single figures. So, horse number 1 is at 4-1. Number 2 is trading at 2-1. Then we got number 5. Which is, I think, horse number 5, Rodriguez. We're going to come back to that because race number 6, horse number 5. Yep, that is a 12-1 shot. So I may have thought I'm mistaken, but that is 12 to 1. Number 6 is 17 to 10. And then we go on to horse number 9, which is a 6 to 8. Sorry, horse number 8 at 6 to 1. And number 4 is a scratching. So we're going to begin with the horse that I think they're all going to have to beat, and 17 to 10 may be attractive for many out there, especially those that have gone for him in the past. His name is Royal Swan Master. There is already a replacement rider on him. I mentioned Craig Zaki not riding. Serena Moodley gets the ride. And this horse, Royal Swan Master, well, 17 to 10, 14 to 10, 2 to 1. He's been beaten. He's run second, and third. So, have you had enough of him? If you've gone for him in the past, or if you haven't, well, you may be picking the right spot now to possibly aim and hit the bullseye. He's carrying 61.5 kgs, but no doubt he looks like the right horse in the race. I'm trying to assess the opposition. I think that's the best way, a process of elimination to try and make your decision. Well, number 1 is possibly an unknown in the province. Did run on the poly track once over 2,000 meters, was disappointing. But 54.5 kgs, draw 1, a horse that does have gate speed, so they could use that to the fore or to their advantage. Number 2, Irish Luck, hasn't won for 267 days, but his recent form will keep many interested. And he's a slight rating drop for him. He used to be off a 79, but you can see of late, off a 72 and 73, he's more competitive of this mark. So numbers 1 and 2. Number 3, well, that will be a surprise winner for me. Number 5, Rodriguez, Louis Courson's runner. I liked him last time out on the show, but come race time, there was an alarming drift about the horse. Unbelievably, went right out to around 6 to 1. And one could say ran accordingly, but valid excuses. The horse was just eased out of the race by Chase Mogine. Examined, nothing obvious detected, so I don't know what was wrong with him. He may just have had an off day. But if you're going to judge him on his previous form and just say, you know what, I put my hands up, the horse had a bad day, I did my cash, I went for him, I'm going to try and get something back. You are going to get an honest run from number 5, Rodriguez, but that last start is a slight concern. Number 7, King's Island, I think will be a surprise winner. And then number 8, Famous Warrior for Michael Roberts. That post-maiden run, yeah, the horse was very, very green. And I think Rachel must have found something amiss to have finished 11 lengths behind Spirit of Lavana. But that was some time back as a juvenile. So likely to be in need of the run coming off this 4.5-month layoff, number 8. Famous Warrior. So on a process of elimination, we've chatted about the runners. I think Royal Swan Master, even though he's going to be given a patient ride carrying 61.5 kgs, there's no horse in this field that I can find that will be quicker than him over the final 400 meters as they turn into the straight. So I'm hoping that, you know, in the small field of 7 runners at the time of recording, that he's not too far back. He doesn't have many horses to pass by, and he'll have the best turn of foot. So he's the rightful favorite. He could be the banker bet on the day, number 6, Royal Swan Master. And of the balance of the runners, I just make 2 runners that could feature as dangers, numbers 2 and 5. And then, of course, the unknown is number 1. But I think I'm going to suggest here that we all in race number 6 with Dean Kannemeyer and a replacement rider in Serena Moodley, Royal Swan Master. Race number 7, the last double on the card, is over 1,400 meters, and this is a fillies and mares 65 handicap. At the time of recording, when we bring up the field, there will be no scratchings, but keep an eye on that or any other updates. Let's go through the betting as we bring up the field. Well, number 1 is at 15 to 10. Horse number 2, Miss Layla, has been a subject of some betting support on HollywooodBets that has shortened from 10 to 1 into 7 to 1. Then we got number 3, which is at 4 to 1, and horse number 6, Drive By, is 3 to 1. And then we got number 7 at 4 to 1. In this race, which I think is one of the more difficult races on the card, although we got a 15 to 10 shot, a horse that, you know, is clear at the top of betting boards. I think once you look past the more obvious runners that jump off the page, runners that represent the recent form, that are threatening to win, then it becomes very, very tricky. And my suggestion is, in this race, go with your gut feel. Go with your gut feel. If you think it's going to be a form result, just go with it. If you don't, then I'm going to suggest include the field. I'm going to give short comments on each runner so we can try and gauge. Number 1, Purple Flower, Alison Wright's runner. On the way she's been running of late, I think it's about time that they put her back over 1,400 meters, because that seems to be a distance that suits her much better. But from draw 1, you can't waste it. If the poly track is running quick and you get caught on that inside running rail, that could be your race done. But I think 1,400 meters will suit her nicely. Miss Layla, I respect the anti-post betting for her. That's the support, 10-1 into 7-1. She's a course and distance specialist. But on what I've seen at her last, 4 runs she's had for trainer Paul Gatsby, she seems to be improving. Number 3, Ocean Palace, Dennis Bosch's runner. On that last start, well, between herself and the Supernova Star, there shouldn't be much to separate both those runners. But Ocean Palace now gets Rachel's 1.5 kgs off. Number 4, Roy Taking Off. I'm going to ignore this horse as a win, but maybe larger quartets. Now, a very interesting runner at 12-1. This is a big price about a horse. Perfect Trust. Carl Judson, Serena Moodley. Serena has got a fair record on her. Jockey and horse, 7 rides for 5 places. Now, look at the rating of this horse when she arrived in the province. I say when she arrived because she used to be from the Western Cape. She arrived with an 81, and she's come down to a super low, 54. That's her rating now. And she is an individual who's racing as a 7-year-old, hasn't won for 567 days. But obviously the stable persevering with her because her form's in and out, but the ability is there. She just can't seem to go on with the effort as they turn into the straight. She enjoys racing up handy. So I think if the track's running quick, 54.5 kgs, things could work out for her. And at around 12-1 in the betting, I'm going to suggest don't leave her out of anything, especially if you're playing the last pick 3, jackpot 2, or whatever bets you are playing. Don't leave her out at a big price. Things could just work out beautifully for her if she gets things her way. 54.5, jump out, possibly go and race up handy, and not tire. That is the concern, because she has been a horse that's just come up for air each time she's raced of late. So let's see how she goes at around 12-1. That could be a nice result in the exotics. Number 6, Drive By, on that last start behind Spirited Flight. She's an obvious choice, loves the poly track. She's a 5-time winner on the surface and not the worst over the distance. So on that last start behind Spirited Flight, she has to go in. And then the Supernova Star I mentioned, well, Rachel's got the claim 1.5, but the Supernova Star's now got the claim 4. So I don't think there'll be much between numbers 3 and 7. Well, throughout the race meeting, we've tried to find some value bets on the card that I've mentioned race by race in this race. But it all depends if Perfect Trust is herself on the day. I say this because she jumps out, she gets into the race, she travels, she looks to be traveling well. But then something happens over the final 300 meters that she just doesn't want to go up for it, go on with it. So with 54.5 of this low rating of 54 kgs, at around 12-1, you're not going to get hurt. It's a small field. She could have things her own way. And it could be her day. Carl Judson, he's picking his spots. He's having his winners. His horses are running well, so the stable's doing good. And Serena does know the horse. So that's going to be the value in the race, Perfect Trust, at a big price. But I mentioned you're going to have to be a brave man to go bang, bang in your exotics with number 5, Perfect Trust. So it looks like a complicated race. The right horse may be the horse to beat, number 1, Purple Flower, from a nice draw, but can't be too far off them. I think 1,400 will suit much better. But all said and done, it looks like a race you want to play a trifecta and a quartet it in. And my each way selection here, I am going for it because of the rating drop, and hopefully it's the right wave at the right time with number 5, Perfect Trust. We're on to race number 8. It's a maiden handicap over 1,400 meters. And these maiden handicaps, as you'd see, if whatever form guide you're having, it's a spread of weights from top to bottom, just like you have in handicap races. So we bring up the field. Number 1, Mo King, 5-1. Horse number 3, Sovereign Command, is trading at 3-1. Number 5, Katavar, is at 5-2. Number 7, Grand Oasis, for Robin Klaasen, is at 5-1. 8, Amor Fati at 28-10, and it's double figures the balance. I'm just going to go with 3 runners here in all my bets, whether it's going to be a pick 3, the second jackpot, place accumulator, or the pick 6, or whatever bets you are wanting to take. My suggestion is 3 runners, and we should be good enough. Anything else, and then we out. Okay, in numerical order. Number 3, Sovereign Command, gelded on the 16th of October 2024. This will be his first run as a gelding. It's clear to see that the ability is there. After his penultimate start, if you go to that run on the poly track where he ran 3rd, the horse ran a decent 3rd behind Mapaka, and then favorite at the penultimate start where he disappointed. From his last start, there's a runner that has come out to win for Garrett van Zyl, called Gimme the Good Life. Yes, Gimme the Good Life, beating Richard the Fearless. Those are the runners to come out from that form line, so it's looking good. But beside the gelding, look at the equipment changes here, guys. Beside the tongue tie, which he's been racing with, they've added the blinkers. And those equipment changes are not just done in the, idea of hoping. They are discussed with jockey and, of course, tried at home. And if it seems to work most of the time, it will be used in a race. So I think this is a calculated decision by the stable of Yoga's governor to go with the blinkers. Nicely drawn at 3 and has to go into everything. 5, Katavar, Tony Rivelin's runner. Yeah, a horse that searches for that maiden win. But of late, with the 4 kgs off and the way this horse races, I think it's jump, young man, race up handy. Hopefully you can get to the front. Catch me if you can. Number 5, Katavar. And then Amor Fati for Frank Robinson. Well, last time out we mentioned it, that the horse was too short in the bedding, taking such a jump up in distance. In fact, Chill in the Air was tipped on the show, and this horse, he ran to a point and then found nothing. Absolutely nothing. Was just eased out of the race by Craig Zaki. It's reported something amiss and fatigued. Well, just on that form line, Brave Bomber did come out to win and runs early on. Brave Bomber, I think, in one of the races that we did tip. I think it's race number 4. Yeah, race number 4, horse number 1, Brave Bomber, was a winner from that form line. But we'll give this horse another chance. I think, now that Frank has said, not now. We're not going to go now in distance. He doesn't seem to be ready for it. In time, as he pulls up and matures, maybe then we'll go the extra distance. But back over 1,400 meters, and on his penultimate start, he must be a serious contender and an each-way chance. So I'm only playing 3 horses here, guys. Racing fans. Number 3, Sovereign Command. Number 5, Katavar. And horse number 8, Amor Fati, in all bets. Those are the 3 runners I'm suggesting. Anything else, then I'm in big trouble here in race number 8. You want a top choice? You want me to be pushed for a top choice? Sovereign Command. I think gelded, blinkers, along with a tongue tie from a nice draw, and could be the right horse at around 3-1 in race number 8. If you're not going for the punt, the glory punt on the head, maybe use him as a roving banker. Number 3, Sovereign Command. But 3, 5, and 8 in race number 8. And that's a grab, guys, of our race by race preview. And as always, we must thank you, the valued racing fan, for your invaluable spend on a daily basis on the tote. and together we can surely make a difference. Well, hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you at Hollywoodbets Greyville. It's small fields that are the order of the day, and I suspect that the Hollywoodbets Punters Challenge competition will be very popular on the day, and it could be won, because with the smaller fields, you just need a few bankers and hopefully things fall into place. And remember, on the Gallop TV YouTube channel, please, just subscribe and like. And if you're looking for new content and you want to be alerted, just press the bell icon. Again, to you, the valued racing fan, have a blast. Find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you. What's it? Wednesday the 20th. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani kahle.